Hi everyone, welcome back to Move Wilder. My name is Hannah and today I'm going to take you through a mat-based Pilates workout that's going to help you maintain mobility and strength into those senior years. So this workout is all about helping you to create muscle balance and stay strong and be independent as you get older. Let's get going.
I'm now going to take you through supple, which is a increased movement from our spine twist. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit with our feet out just wider than hip distance apart, staying on those sit bones. So make sure you're not coming off those sit bones. We're going to rotate through that mid spine to one side, bend forward and gently tap your toes, or just go in that general direction. If you can't get to your toes, that's absolutely fine. What I want you to focus on is that your sit bones stay stuck to the mat. If you're finding this hard because you have tight hamstrings, raise yourself up, sit on a big book or on a yoga block. That will just help with that. Keeping that rotation coming through your mid-spine should get a nice stretch in the leg and back. And once you've finished, coming into your rest pose. To laying down on our mat with our feet hip distance apart, pelvis in neutral, so tailbone pointing towards the end of your mat, arms just gently rested on the floor, palm up if you feel like you're going to push your hands down into the mat, so no tension in that upper body. We're going to take an inhale, and then on your exhale you're going to gently roll up through your spine, thinking about your vertebrae as individual blocks, and we're going to pick each individual block up off the floor. When you get to the top, we're going to hold this position for an inhale, and then we're going to exhale and gently roll back down through your spine, again thinking one vertebrae at a time. At the top of your bridge, the weight should be in your shoulders, not in your neck. So you're not putting any tension on that neck. And you're going to really push down into your toes as well. So we activate through your hamstrings and glutes as much as possible. We're holding in a nice ski slope-like position. So there should be a line from your knee through your hip down to your shoulder. You shouldn't be overextending and kind of letting your rib cage flare into the air and bringing that pelvis up any higher. And then I want you to hug your knees into your chest. Just give yourself a little bit of a rock. And then return to our rest pose. This next move is cat flap letterbox, which is a great core exercise. So we're going to come to lying down on our backs, feet are hip distance apart, flat on the floor. Pelvis in neutral, so just take a gentle tuck and tilt if you need to bring that pelvis into neutral alignment where there's just a small gap under that lower back. You can check that with your hand. Palms are facing up so you can't push down into your upper body, and your knees are going to be above your hips, so we're keeping our legs in what we call our tabletop position. Going to take an inhale, and then on your exhale you're going to engage your core and pelvic floor and stretch the leg out as if you were going to put your foot through the letterbox on your front door. Going to inhale, hold it there, and then exhale, come back to the center. Going to inhale there, prepare, exhale. This time we're going to place the foot through the cat flap, so we're bringing that leg lower. That's the more harder position. So thinking about, as you extend that leg out, what's happening in your belly. So making sure your ribs stay in contact with your hips. So rib to hip connection is really important here. Pulling those hip bones into the middle. Again, we're going to hold that for an inhale and pause, and then exhale back to the center. You can alternate legs if you need to make this slightly less challenging. You could also do this with one leg in tabletop instead of two, which again would make it less challenging if you're finding this quite difficult. I really want you to think about that position and the use of your core here. We're really working those core muscles hard. And once you've finished one leg, we're going to move to the other leg, exactly the same. So exhale, taking the leg away from the body, up as if you're going to post your foot through the letterbox, holding for an inhale, and then exhale, returning to your starting tabletop position. Inhaling in the middle to prepare, exhale, taking the leg lower, thinking about that rib to hip, so pulling your ribs down towards your hips, keeping hold of that connection, pulling those hip bones into the middle, switching on that pelvic floor, so thinking sit bone to sit bone, pubic bone to tailbone to do so. Making sure that little gap behind your low back doesn't increase in size, so it should stay small because your back should remain in its neutral position and just the leg moves. Once you finish, taking a full body stretch and then returning to your sitting rest pose. You're going to wrap the left leg over the top of the right leg, and then you're going to wrap the right arm around the left leg, look to the left, and you're going to hug that knee in and hold it for 30 seconds. Once you finish, you're going to bring the left leg back to the left-hand side. Let the knee fall out to the side and bring the left arm over towards the outside of the right leg, and we're going to hold this again for 30 seconds. This is a great stretch for the lower back and hamstrings. Then we're going to move to the other side of our glute stretch. So bringing the right leg over the body this time, hugging that knee in with your left arm, looking to the right, holding for 30 seconds. And then again, bringing that right leg down to the right hand side of your body. Let that knee fall out and then bring the right arm up and over onto the outside of the left leg. And then once you've finished, coming back up into our rest pose.
Thanks for joining my mobility workout today. I hope you found it beneficial. If you are interested, you can have a little look at my other videos, which should be popping up right now. Thanks for joining me. As always, hit subscribe if you enjoyed this video.